Reaperman here, and today I am actually excited for the new Arcade1Up pre-order that goes live tomorrow, and that is the 22nd of November 2021 here, and the Ridge Racer machine is going live. This is their second driving cabinet, and I might be interested enough to pick one of those up. It's going to have 5 games in it. It's going to have Ridge Racer 2, which I believe is Revolution on PlayStation. Then it's going to have Ace Driver, which this is, and then the sequel to Ace Driver Victory Lap there, and also have Rage Racer. Now, I've never played any of those in the arcade, but they all look like pretty good games. They all move pretty fast, and I am excited about getting kind of a little miniature driving station into my house. Now, over the coronavirus, I did get funding approval for a full-on driving cabinet in the house, but because I only have one room on the first floor because I've got kind of a funny shaped condo, that just isn't going to be possible with a full-size machine. But I do actually have a place for an Arcade1Up size machine, and if we look down over my inside balcony, you can see that next to the fireplace I've currently got my Vectrex set up there, and if I pulled that out and put it someplace actually sensible, then I would have plenty of room for this the stand-up version of the Ridge Racer cabinet. Actually, I don't even know if there's going to be a sit-down offered. Now, I say this is their second driving cabinet because they actually have Outrun. They released, I believe, last year at about this time, and that one actually got pretty good reviews on it. The complaints generally were the shifter felt cheap and the pedals felt cheap, and while those are bummers, that's not too bad at all. I did spot a couple other things that I didn't like. The materials overall are too thin on those Arcade1Up machines, just always and in general. And also they did the weird thing with the acrylic that they always seem to do, where they cut the holes big and sink the buttons down inside them. And I have no idea why they do that, but it is extremely not great. It is not great that they do that. But yeah, I think that I'm actually entertained enough by this idea that I kind of want one. So emulation on 3D games is often pretty good. I don't know if they're going to be emulating it at the stock resolution or if they're going to be upgrading it, because that's one thing that you often see with the 3D games is that the resolution goes sky high on them, where currently I'm playing Ace Driver here at the 640 by 480, but it wouldn't surprise me if they upped that for the arcade machine. It's got a vibration steering wheel on this arcade machine, which is probably all this needs. I have never touched the arcade machine, so I don't know if they had force feedback, but from this era it could go either way. They also have Wi-Fi enabled, and that's for high scores, and that sounds like a lot of fun. I suppose these days MAME probably has that too, but I really don't feel enough like configuring an emulator to figure all that out. Configuring emulators just never really feels worth my time. For example, I was going to be playing the sequel to this game for this video, and I actually was trying to get my racing wheel working with it, and I screwed up the pedals so bad that I'm just probably never going to play the Ace Driver Victory Lap ever again. Also, while it looked better than this game, it just didn't seem to have the charm. It's hard to explain. There's something about the car design was a little off. Anyway, I do actually have an Arcade1Up machine, not one of the big ones, but when the Countercades went on sale at $50 at Walmart.com, I picked up the Galaga and Galaga 88 one, you know, the 2-in-1 combo, and those are probably my favorite in the series, so that was kind of fun. That one had some screen problems in that the LCD they chose really didn't like going vertical, and it had a bias off to one side, and definitely didn't have a bias off to the top, and there just didn't seem to be enough angle on that screen. Oh, I can complain about this thing for ages. It was very, very much not good. And if you're watching this in the future, well after I've gotten my pre-order of this thing, you'll know if I actually regret this purchase or not, which is 50-50, I suppose. I will probably eventually have to have a real driving cabinet, and who knows what they'll cost then, because this time last year, driving cabinets were probably what this thing's going to cost, and they haven't announced the price yet, but I'm expecting $650 to $699, somewhere there. Which would have been enough to buy a driving cabinet at this time last year, but definitely is not right now. For driving cabinets, I'd really like a San Francisco Rush 2049, specifically the special edition. It got serious enough that I got funding approval, and I even bought the marquee for the special edition in case I had to do the upgrade myself. But now, San Francisco Rush machines are no longer like $700 to $800. They're more like $1,200 to $1,600. And worse than that, it's not even about the money. I just don't have space for the darn thing. I ran the math. There's just no room downstairs. Even if I get rid of furniture, it'll just kind of cramp the whole downstairs area up. And there are a couple of pieces of furniture I was thinking of getting rid of. In fact, I even considered joining a pinball club. Kind of a car upgrade club, I guess, car tuner club, or the American Legion of all things, just so I would have a club with like a clubhouse with enough space that I could possibly drop one of those. That just doesn't seem like my thing. Both the American Legion and the little hot rod club are just down the street from me, just at the end of the block, but I'd have to go quite a ways to join this pinball club. I don't even like pinball that much, and weirdly the pinball club seems to be mostly about live music, which just blows my mind. And they have a YouTube channel. Maybe I'll link to them down in the description. But yeah, most of their YouTube videos are just pinball machines with live bands playing in front of them. Anyway, what I would really just like is a driving station. Just something I can walk up to, flip it on, get a game or two, have it save my high score, have that be it. And this will probably scratch that itch for me. Ooh. Now, Ridge Racer I'm okay at, but the reason I'm not playing it right now is it always takes me 2 to 3 days of playing Ridge Racer before I actually figure out how to do the proper controlling there with the drift mechanic that they've got. It is very unintuitive. Whoa! Big crash. Okay, let's see if we can catch back up to second here. And Rave Racer, that seems to... It looks a lot like Ridge Racer, but the screen tilts a lot. And I wonder if maybe it was in a cockpit that tilted or something like that. Because it seems like those cars have very poor suspensions on them. Let's get around here. And looks like still second place. If I recall on these Namco games, getting second isn't very hard at all, but getting first is that takes a few days of getting good. This of course is the beginner mode. Whoa. I have not tried expert mode on this game. If I recall, Ridge Racer treats expert mode as a bit of a track variation, along with a difficulty increase. Ooh. Now I do notice Arcade1Up has some Midway games lately, and I do hope in the future that they actually do release some Midway racing cabinets. I suppose the first one that they would try and release would be Cruisin' now. I don't know what the licensing on that looks like though, since I think there's a partnership with Nintendo involved. course, my dream would be a multi-rush cabinet, and then I would sign up definitely a lot faster than the Ridge Racer cabinet. But since I've played the Rush games, I might be a little bit more judgmental of the emulation quality. Anyway, that's just been me raving on about the new Ridge Racer by Arcade1Up, and I'm probably going to be there tomorrow. Pre-ordering. I don't know how much it's going to be, and I don't know if it's going to be a proper pre-order or if it's going to be the usual 2020 prepay or don't get it kind of thing that we seem to be seeing more and more of. But until next time, Reaper Man out.